What up, what up, what up? Tonight we got another viewer's choice. Somebody wants to know, I'm sure a lot of people actually want to know, why do married men cheat? Honestly, I want to know why men cheat, period. But sticking to the topic initially, the person specifically wanted to know, why do married men cheat? So I'm going to let Hub start it off. You know, he got a couple ideas in the brain. I got my own theories, philosophies, or whatever. So let's see what he got to say about it.
Well, I think that there's a lot of reasons why a married man cheats, but
Pray tell.
well, let me think. Because I'm having one of the moments like you. I got a lot going on in my mind at one time.
Already? Usually this happens like 10 minutes in.
Right.
Well, I feel like married men cheat because it's women out here that are willing to cheat with married men. I mean, that's what I feel like the answer is. Because if women would be like, nah, then they wouldn't have nobody to cheat with.
Yeah, but that's like impossible. That's, long as people are attracted to other people, is a case where that can happen. But like guys cheat for, all right, let's start with probably one of the highest reasons. They're not getting it at home.
Mm-hmm. When you say getting it, you mean sex specifically or just?
Well, sex is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But, like some women use it as a punishment, like, well, if you don't do this, then you're not getting this. And, that's a mistake. Or some women don't keep in mind, like, this guy, he's different than you sexually. His motor is always running. A lot of guys anyway, and he needs it a lot. But if the woman doesn't feel that way, she thinking he cool. We just whatever. And some guys ain't gonna talk your head off. They gonna just go do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what if she ain't doing certain favors? He wanting the bed. Like, some guys got this thing where they don't even want their wives to do all the freaky, nasty stuff. And that's a mistake. So they'll go out and cheat for that because their wife is the wholesome junk. And they supposed to just, have this boring little situation and they go out and get all the freaky dicky out, out in the streets.
I mean, that's a good point too, because I've heard that before. It's like, you my lady or you my wife, so you kind of in this box where you only do these things. Mm-hmm. So it's like they almost don't feel like comfortable asking their wife to do that, or they don't want to see their wife in that light. So it's like in their mind, they kind of hold their wife up to a certain standard, so to speak. But in a way, it's like it's a disservice. I mean, in a big way, you know what I'm saying? Because you should be able to do all that with your spouse.
Right.
But my thing is like, but was they doing that before they got married? So, like, was it a change because you went from a girlfriend to a fiance to a wife? Like, it's cool for me to, have my girlfriend give me head or have my fiance give me head, but now she my wife. No, all bets are off? Or was it like they never did it to begin with?
Well, I recall a story about this pimp dude I work with.
You and these people you work with.
Yeah. I mean, you meet a lot of characters out there. And basically, he didn't want, like, his wife wanted to give him the schlugen, and he didn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to go out and get it that way, so, and it was like, we just don't do that. So I'm thinking with him,
they just never did it?
They never did it because he probably seen her as, like, this is going to be my bun.
Mm-hmm.
My bun, she has to be like this for me, it's not all that extraness.
Right. So do you believe that married men are more inclined to cheat than a guy that's just like in a relationship?
No, I think it's even across the board. See, the thing is, more women than guys put this heavy label on marriage. But when you're with somebody, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, some guys getting married at the wrong time. You know, like they right knee deep in their play mode, and but you come across something that you think like, yeah, there's something special, but you don't want to stop the play mode. You don't want to lose them, so you be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and marry her, and you know, but some guys don't have that willpower to be like, all right, I have to respect, because it's a respect thing. Like,
Right.
you know, if you really don't want to cheat, you got to look at it as you're respecting your wife by doing that, rather than, man, this is how I feel, I want, you know, 'cause
Right.
that's kind of what goes on. It's like, man, I just, like, I don't want, I'm so boxed in, and you know, you got some women that nag your head right off, so that'll push a guy to just go out and have some drinks. He come across something, then it's going down, you know.
But you mentioned to me at one point before, you got to kind of have your mind in that space. You got to be like open to doing it. Now, in some instances, I mean, even though I hate to say it, I do think it just happened. I think it wasn't the intent. They just got caught up, got themselves in the wrong situation. But on the flip side of that, you was like, you got to almost have it in your mind that you open to cheating,
Right.
to cheat.
Right, that's very true. Like, that's what I'm saying about some of the guys that get in these relationships. They never wanted to be faithful the whole time. They just like, well, I want to hold on to her. So they get into the joint knowing they gonna do them the whole time. They just gonna try to find a way to hide it better, sneak, you know, all that kind
Right.
of thing. But they was never in the mindset where they wanted to be faithful in the first place.
I mean, that's true, and that's crazy to me because I'm like, I know of dudes that get married and cheat on their wives the next day. And it's like, well, why did you even get married? Like, that pissed me off, man.
Yeah, but that's kind of, but I mean, you gotta ask the lady that too. Why you marry him? Like,
But she ain't know. Like,
sometimes there's signs.
nah, I'm gonna tell you, like, speaking from experience, like, in my mind, like, when we get married, all that you was doing at that moment stops. And maybe, you know, women are naive when it comes to that, but you know, if a man go as far as say he want to marry you, you know, you the only one for him, he want to spend the rest of his life with you, I feel like it's fair to believe, like, okay, this dude, he gonna be faithful to me, you know, like, yeah, he might have played around while we was dating, blah blah blah, but now that we're married, we totally in, you know what I'm saying, we totally committed to one another. Because you know, in the situations I know of, the wives don't know, like, that their husband's still cheating, or maybe not even still cheating, but maybe started cheating, or whatever the case may be. So I don't think women be knowing.
No, man, some don't, but a lot of times you blind yourself, you know. You see little signs, you see something, and you're like, oh, that ain't nothing, I ain't gonna worry about it, like early on. And, you know, those, when somebody show you who they are, believe them. You know, it's, a lot of times we want something to be the way we want it to be rather than accepting what it is. So I think that happens sometimes. But yeah, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things. But you know, some of the guys that I know that do that, basically they never set in their mind that they were going to be faithful. It was just, all right, this my bun.
Right.
You know, but I'm still going to kind of do me, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe, like, society put a lot of pressure on men to get married. You know, society, women in society is a certain press to get married. And, you know, like you said, if a dude, he found a good lady, he don't want to lose her. So it's like he take that step, you know what I'm saying? Because he trying to secure her, but at the same time, he still got other things working, you know?
Right.
But my question is this, too. Like, a lot of dudes, you meet them, they be like, they not happy at home or whatever, and that's why they cheating. Because, I mean, nothing irks me more, it irks my soul when I'm out somewhere and a married dude try to holler at me. I'm like, dude, like, where's your respect? You're married. I'm saying, though, but I'm not happy at home. Okay, well, leave your home. I mean, not that I'm an advocate for divorce, but it makes no sense to stay in a relationship you're not happy in. But I really don't believe that I'm not happy, because if you're not happy, if you're that unhappy, you would find a way to leave that situation. You know what I'm saying? But what it is, you won't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, don't we all kind of?
I mean, sometimes, but in this situation, it's like you want the benefits of having a wife, but at the same time, you still want to be a single man, you know? So ultimately, it comes back to my first point. Like, if it wasn't women out here that was accepting of men cheating on their wives, you know what I'm saying, wasn't willing to go along with the program, they couldn't do it.
I mean, that's a slippery slope right there, because how does that work? Like, so now you're gonna force the man to see. You shouldn't have to force anybody to be faithful. You know, it's either they're choosing to do it or they're not. So, and you made a point. You was like, I gotta recall, because I wanted to speak on that specifically. Like the guy out, he not happy.
Like putting himself in a situation or having a mindset.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say that the unhappy thing. I mean, that's not like unhappy. That's kind of relative. Like, there are moments in every relationship where you're not the happiest.
Right.
So how do you differentiate? Like, okay, this time I'm really not happy, so I got to leave.
Right.
You know, like some of us that want to make it work, you choose to, bear and grin it through the hard and the good times.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you know when you should just go? And then, that's some people's outlet. I mean, it may not be a great outlet, but you got to look at their upbringing. Some people never seen a connected family. It was always a bunch of chaos, people in and out, cheating, mother and father, So when you look at that, they kind of bred to think like, this is how I'm supposed to do. I feel it, so I might as well do it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I agree with what you're saying, because if you never seen a healthy, happy marriage, then how can you duplicate that? You know what I mean? But it's just like bothersome, because I'm just like, why people don't take their vows seriously? Now, the conversation is about men, just because this was a viewer's choice, but I mean, women do it too, you know what I mean? Because it's some women that get married and they be out here running amok, so it's not just men. So let me clarify that. We're not male bashing, but this was just a question that was asked, so we just addressing it. But I just feel like, me personally, if I'm at a point where I'm unhappy consistently and I have the feeling where I want to step out of my marriage, then I'd rather not be in that marriage. Because to me, I cannot be married and single at the same time. I got to pick one. That's me. Now, I know everybody don't get down like that, but that's just how I see it. You know what I'm saying? That's too much work for one. You got to do all this sneaking around and, hiding your phone and all that type thing, keeping your lies in order. It's just too much.
Yeah,
so me personally, I wouldn't do it. Like, I can honestly say, from a different perspective, I never slept with a married man that I know of. Because sometimes that's another thing guys don't always tell you. Because I got friends in that boat where they date somebody that's married and they find out after they already caught feelings. So that's like a different joint. But I have dated guys that were engaged. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, this is still kind of their trial period where they seeing if they want to get married or not. So I justified it like, all right, this cool because they ain't married yet. But for me, like, once they decided to walk down the aisle and they decided to get married, all bets are off for me. Like, all right, he's no longer on the market. You know what I'm saying?
But that's kind of goes with tradition, too. Like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You got relationships out here where people operate a lot different. Just because you get married doesn't mean, all right, we stop. It's all about your relationship, making your relationship authentic and what works for y'all. So if you with somebody that's not for all that, then yeah, but like some guys are just childish, they bring these teenage things that we did into, manhood and think like, this is the way it's supposed to be. And basically it's just, they're not thinking about what the woman is feeling or thinking. So they just kind of thinking about what they want. Right. Which we had another video, selfishness. That's what it all really boils down to.
Mm-hmm. Because like you said, you're not getting what you want or need in the moment, so you basically step out. And then my thing is this too. I'm kind of getting off track of what I was saying, but what I hate is like when they cheat and then they come back begging to stay with you and get back with you. I know that's a whole different conversation, but that blows me. I'm like, dog, like you should have thought about all that. You in these streets, you know what I'm saying? You F&Bs, popping bottles, you know what I'm talking about? Then I find out, now you want to make up. Now you want to get back together. Like, you should have thought about all that. You should have thought about what you had at home before you risk it. You know, you risked it all.
But
risked it all.
That sounds good and all, but you got to think about how children operate, right?
Males are children.
Well, people are children. All we are is children trying to learn how to be adults.
Ooh, that was deep.
So
tweet that.
So, you know, you got to think about how it is in their mind. How many times have one of our children do something that they know, but in that moment, it was like, you know, they wanted to do whatever they wanted to do. And it's like, I'm sorry, don't spank me, don't do this, don't, you know, but like in that moment, it's like, boom, especially when it's like hitting, like, you know, you in that mood, you feeling it. It's hard for most people to stop going through with whatever they doing at that moment. You know, the best thing you can do is just not get in the situation.
I mean, that's true because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and act like an angel. You know, I was previously married and I did cheat. And, you know, I felt justified. But basically, the thing was I put myself in a situation. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was naive to that can even happen. Because, you know, I thought I knew myself. Like, nah, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, you know, I allowed myself to get close with another guy, confide in him, all that type thing, and become friends with them. And before you know it, one thing lead to another, you know. So I didn't want to sit here like a hypocrite because, you know, some of my friends be watching like, what you talking about? But, you know, but at the same time, I learned from that. And I know that this time around, like, if I was ever feeling those type of ways, you know, I would address it with you first. Like, I would talk about it. And I would put it on the table, you know. That's why I'm like, I would rather leave than to cheat, because that's just, it's not right for one, you know, because you just inflict so much hurt on that other person or whatever, especially if they all in, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, in that instance, I feel like women cheat for different reasons. Like with men, I don't think y'all really need a reason to cheat, but for women, in most instances, is a reason behind it, whether it's revenge or, you know, just being naive, getting yourself in a messed up situation. But I feel like with guys, it's kind of like things could be going totally fine at home. Everything's perfect. I just heard of a situation like that, like everything's Gucci and dudes still cheat. It's like, what? Like, I ain't even do nothing wrong and you still cheated? So it's kind of like, you know, have your cake and eat it too type of thing. Like, dudes be greedy, I feel, when it comes to that.
Women not. And that being naive, you know, I'm gonna call bullshit on that because I'm like, ain't that much. All right, so when you was going through your situation and you wanted to be, come on, bro, you know what you was doing. Like, you may have made it up in your mind, like, oh well, I just want to be friends. I want some.
I did not want action. I did not want chop.
Stop this.
That's not why I had a male friend.
No, you did want that because you know how men are and how they think. You dealt with men. You know that if you're in a certain situation, their mind is turned on to that. So the problem be women kind of be in their own mind. Some women be in their own mind, like, okay, well, it should work out like this, but they're not really thinking of the reality. You know, so that naivety. I mean, some people are naive, you know, they haven't been in situations, but there's some that has, and I feel like it's more of an excuse.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever, call it what you want. But anyhow, this is a conversation that can continue to go on and on, but at the end of the day, you know, it's various reasons why it happened. We both have our different perspectives. All right, y'all, that's a wrap. Y'all got anything else y'all want us to talk about next time? Let us know. Hit us up. All right. Deuces.